everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome to Living with S. Now, as you've seen in today's feature, we are talking about breast cancer. Our guest today is Miriam Ndirangu, and she shares her story with us. But before we get into that, make sure you're following us on social media. That's Living with S on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you have any thoughts on this topic, maybe you want to share your story, let us know. Leave us comments and interact with us. We've been seeing what you guys have been saying, actually, and we love that you're chiming in. Now, back to today's topic. Miriam Ndirangu was diagnosed with breast cancer in November 2016, and starting December of that year, she went into treatment. And just the other month, actually, it was in June that she ended her treatment. Miriam, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
And thank you as well for bravely sharing your story with us. I'm sure there's people who are watching who may be going through the same thing and have so many questions and don't know where to start. So I know your story will be very impactful.
Yes.
But before we get into your journey, a mother of twin girls.
Yes.
How is that? I have a daughter, just one, and it's a lot of work. So twins, how was that? Did you ever dream of having twins, and how has it been being their mom?
It's quite a handful for me.
Yeah.
Having twins, and initially I was not, up to having twins and raising such, but I always envied seeing other people with twins.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'd always be like, oh, that must be so cute.
Yeah, but now once you have them, it's a lot of work.
It's a handful. I can only imagine.
Yes.
Can you, like, even just changing diapers?
Yes.
And when they're at the crawling stage and one's running away and you need to, or even the sleeping,
the sleeping time, well, most of the time it used to be at the same time.
Oh.
Yeah. So they used to sleep at the same time, wake up at the same time.
Ah.
So, you are always on your toes most of the time. So maybe they would sleep for like 2 hours or 1 hour, then they're awake for like 3-4 hours.
You have to run around after that.
Yeah, it was quite tiring, but
that's
exciting.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
But so have you always, or were you always keen on, let's say, health and lifestyle growing up? Was that something that was of any concern to you?
Well, I wouldn't say when I was much younger, I wasn't really into lifestyle, living healthy and all that. I wasn't really keen on that. But now, when I became of age and, I could see some of my aunts, they are my late aunts actually, they were now from my dad's side, they were diagnosed with breast cancer. So that's when now, it hit me, it could be genetic, and maybe either of us could, become a victim of breast cancer.
Right.
So that's when now I think I started becoming more cautious of my body.
Okay.
Checking myself.
Checking yourself. Yeah, self-checks.
Yes.
And so when did you first realize that something was wrong?
That was in 2016, early 2016.
Okay.
But it wasn't much of a bother to me because since, I became of age, having my breast and all that, I could notice that my nipples were a bit inverted. So I didn't really know much about, having inverted nipples rather than to someone who has, the normal nipples. So it became a bother to me now around July of 2016. That's when now I started now noticing now one of my nipple, the right breast, it was more inverted than the left one. So I spoke to my mom, my late mom. So I spoke to her about it, and she was concerned. She was like, I think you need to go and get checked. It could not be something really big, but it wouldn't hurt for you to go and get, checked on that.
Okay, and how old were your girls at this point?
They were around 2 years. Yeah, and around 9 months.
Okay, 2 years and 9 months. So to you, it wasn't any concern that it could have been linked to breastfeeding? Because I imagine by then you weren't breastfeeding
because
anymore.
it didn't even cross my mind.
Okay.
Because you see now having twins and I'm breastfeeding them at the same time. So breast cancer was out of the question.
Okay.
Yes.
So do you remember the day that you were diagnosed with cancer?
Yes, I do.
Can you take me through that day and your feelings?
Okay. So in August now of 2016, I went to see now the general physician basically for just checkups.
Yeah.
So, because now I was worried about my inverted nipple. There was no pain, there was no lump, there was nothing. So I went and saw the doctor. The doctor checked on my breast, and she said it was quite okay. There was nothing, wrong with it. So, but she told me, wait until the, that cancer month of October. So you can go back again and get checked. So in October, I went back to Aga Khan. I went there, got, did my screening there, the physical checkup, they checked, and they said there's nothing. But now, I decided I want to see the breast surgeon. Because now I was worried because my nipple was still, like inverted.
Yeah.
There was no change. When I removed my bra, it's still the same.
Yeah.
So I insisted that I want to see the breast surgeon. His name is Professor Wasike at Aga Khan.
Okay.
So I was given an appointment. I went and saw him now in that month of October. He checked again, and he said there was nothing. So, but I told him,
wow,
I'm not convinced. So
yeah.
he just told me, just to clear, any doubts, just go and do an ultrasound. Then now from that, you can be able now to know whether there's something wrong with your nipple or it's just the way, you are.
Yeah.
So I went and I did my ultrasound. Now when they were now in the process of doing the ultrasound, they noticed there was a small lump, but it was so small. So they had to like repeat the scan again. So they repeated the scan, and I took the report back to the professor. He went through it. That's when now he became a bit also, cautious. So he said, we need to do a biopsy of this lump that we can see on one of your breasts. Now that was my right breast. So we need to do a biopsy of it so that we can ascertain for sure whether it is cancerous or it's not. So I was booked for a biopsy the following day. So same place, Aga Khan. So I went, they did the biopsy, had to wait for about 2 weeks for the report to be out. And when now it came out, it was, everything changed.
Right.
Everything changed because now it came out positive, saying that the lump that's there, it's already cancerous. And, so many things went through my mind, and I could not even believe it. Yeah, it was a bit off.
Must have been heavy.
Yeah.
So what is it that made you keep pushing? Because now if one doctor tells you, oh, there's nothing, then another doctor, and then you go to the head surgeon and they're saying there's really nothing. What is it that made you keep pushing?
You see now, well, there's internet. So I decided to just go and check, about inverted nipples, what could be the cause of it. Why is it not changing? It's only one. So the moment now I went to check on Google, unfortunately, or I don't know whether to say fortunately, yeah.
Yeah, Google can be a hit or miss.
Yes.
Sometimes you never know, but I guess in your case, it's really what helped spur you to continue asking.
Yes, true. So when now I checked out, I now came to understand that, when actually I went straight to check on, symptoms of breast cancer. So that was the first thing I checked.
Okay.
Then when I checked, I could see, either there's a lump, or if there's no lump, could be an inverted nipple.
Yeah.
Maybe a dimpling breast. So and
a what breast?
A dimpling.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So when I checked on all those, symptoms that were showing now on the internet. Well, mine was now the inverted nipple, and I realized this could, it could be more than, my fears. So I decided now, let me just push it, as much as whatever will come out, then we will deal with it, positive or negative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you trusted your gut?
Yes.
And Dr. Google?
Yes.
Okay, so who was the first person that you told?
My husband.
Okay.
Yes.
How was that? How did he take the news?
Well, initially, he was not really convinced that it was cancer.
What?
Yeah.
Even after the diagnosis?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
How
Because, it was a shock. It was a shock to
right.
all of us.
Okay.
And there's no way we could relate. How can I get cancer at my age?
Because you were only 31? Or?
Yes, I was 31 then,
Yeah,
I was
31,
31, yes. And I was thinking, how can I get cancer at this age? I have two small kids. They are still, why am I, being the one now to carry this burden?
Yeah.
So I could not believe it. He could not believe it as well. But we decided we can go for a second opinion, which is exactly what we did. We went for a second opinion, and unfortunately, it came out still positive. Nothing changed.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can understand, though, the shock must have been, you're trying to wrap your head around this, and you have two children.
Yeah.
Did you at any point consider telling them, or did you actually even, tell them the news? Because I know at the time they must have been 2.5 or so.
2.5, yeah. 2.5, they are, very young. So they really don't even know what cancer is.
Yeah.
So I didn't really bother to tell them. To date, I haven't even told them. The only thing they know is that, mommy is sick. Once in a while, she's down. At times, she doesn't feel like playing with us. So, and they know that, I have to go for checkups now and then, but they have no idea. It's take up for what. Yeah.
Right. And I guess to you, it's also important that you protect them, because it might be too much for them to carry, to understand even. And also 2.5, you have no idea the difference between just, a paper cut or something as heavy as breast cancer.
Yes.
How did the rest of your family react to the news?
They were also in shock, I would say, especially my mom. My mom was very shocked because she never thought any of her kids would, end up having breast cancer. And as much as I had seen my late aunts, going through the same, it never crossed our mind that it would come to us. And again, as much as, most people think that cancer normally targets the old people.
There's a myth,
yes,
that, you have
just
to be in
the
your 50s or 60s.
For you to get breast cancer.
Yeah.
But you see, even, kids as young as 2 years,
What?
Yes. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, as young as 2 years.
Breast cancer?
Yes, just go to Kenyatta Hospital or any other hospital, you'll find very young kids going through that treatment.
Oh.
So it came now, that's when now I realized it's not about age. Cancer can, we all have cancer cells.
Right, yes.
Yes, we all have cancer cells. So, but now, the way now they start now to manifest in a way that now they are spreading and become, these tumors and all that. It all depends now with maybe our lifestyle changes, the genetics. They all play now a factor in all this. Yeah,
in the role. Now that the doctors diagnosed you, going back to November 2016, when they diagnosed you with breast cancer, what was then the next step?
From there now, immediately I had now to start treatment, because you see now, the moment now, cancer doesn't, it doesn't like being, how do I put it? There's no need to keep pressing on it so much. Okay. So the moment now you do your biopsy, you get your report, it comes out to be positive. Somehow the cells tend to multiply very fast. Yeah, they grow very fast. Because you remember I told you there was no lump.
Yeah, or it was, there was no lump.
I could not feel any lump physically when I examined myself.
Yeah.
There was no lump. But immediately now the scan, the ultrasound was done, they could see the small lump. But even if you feel it, you could not really feel it because it was very small. So after the biopsy, 2 weeks after that, it became now big. Now I could feel it. I could touch, feel it, and then it was like splitting. So they became like 2 of them, then they became like 3. So it was growing really fast.
Yeah.
So the doctor advised that you need to start your treatment immediately. And before now you start your treatment, of course, they have to do these CT scans to do the staging so that they know what stage you are, the type of treatment they're going to give to you. So I went through that. I remember I think it was now early December now when I went now to do the staging now for the to do my staging. That night, one of my twin, Hailey, she got an accident at home. She was running up and down with a toothbrush, so it got stuck in one of her cheek. So I was called. I had to go back home, pick her, bring her back to hospital. So when I took her to Aga Khan, it was the same day that I was supposed also now to get my report now for the staging. So when I took her to Aga Khan, I was told it's going to be an emergency. She's very young. We can't remove it just like that. So she has to go to theater. So the same day I'm supposed to get my report is the same day now my young baby
also has to have some
a small
surgery.
Yes. So I had all these emotions. You know, I was scared, I was angry, I was bitter. And so what I decided, I'll handle one thing at a time. So I went, we were booked for theater at around 6 p.m. So I decided before now we get admitted, let me rush to the professor. I go get my report. I get to know, you know, what stage I am. And in my head, I kept telling myself, I wish I'm a stage 1 or a stage 2, because I don't, you know, the 3, 4 things we've always been hearing you know, in the media. So when I went now to get my report, he broke the news and he told me that I'm a stage 4. It broke my heart. I was very angry. I would say I was very angry. I was angry at God. I was angry at the doctors because I thought maybe they didn't know exactly what they were saying. And I just took the report and told him, we'll talk, you know, on Monday. Let me just handle my kid first. So I went back now, you know, handled my kid. We went now, you know, for the surgery. We were done. And then after 2 days we were discharged. I went home. So now the following now Monday, I had now to start thinking about now myself. The treatment. Where do I start? What type of chemo am I going to be given? How many sessions? So I went and saw the oncologist. He's Dr. Asim at Aga Khan. So when I went to see him, he said, you now being a stage 4, we will start, we won't do surgery first. So we will do chemotherapy. Then do about 3 of them. Then redo a scan, because now they were saying my cancer had spread to the lungs. So, so they said we can't do surgery right now. We have to do chemo. So I was given 3 cycles first. Then did another scan. After the scan, they went and checked. The nodules in the lungs were not changing. It was still intact. So he decided we need to increase the dose.
Chemotherapy and that's part of the treatment. So at which point did the first mention of a mastectomy come into the conversation?
Actually from the word go, from, you know, because with now the kind of, my cancer was, I'm a HER2 positive, meaning my cancer was more of a hormonal, you know, type of cancer. So my hormones tend, you know, to multiply very fast, the estrogen. So they had to look for the best way to, you know, the best treatment to give me. So the doctor advised first, because now it has spread to the lungs, remember. So there was no way they were going to start with the surgery, because, you know, cancer, you don't know to keep messing with it all the time.
Because you're explaining that it multiplies. The more you poke at it, the more it
So the doctor decided the best thing to do, we try and shrink the lump, the tumor itself. So, and the best way to do it, get the first set of chemo. Once now you're done, I was supposed to get 6 of them. So I got the first 3, went back for a rescan. The lungs nodules were still the same. So the doctor decided we may need to increase the dosage again so that we see whether we'll be able to hit those nodules in the lungs. And if they happen to change, then we know that whatever is in the lungs is cancerous. Because you see now it was, you know, a 50-50 thing. They were not really sure of whatever was in the lungs, because they never did a biopsy on the lungs.
Okay.
Yes. So what now we decided, I went now through the 6 cycles. After I finished, went back again, did my another scan, the chest scan, now to check whether there's any changes. The lump had already shrinked a lot, which was a good thing.
Yeah.
So meaning the treatment was working. So, but now the lungs, the nodules were still the same. According now to the last scan that was done, there was a very mild change. So now the doctor decided if now they're starting to change, again, it shows they're cancerous. So the doctor decided, being a stage 4, you know, the myth about you being a stage 4, you know, you're not heading towards a cure and such things.
That's what we hear.
Yes,
Mostly it just feels like stage 4, it's
like a
dire.
death sentence.
Yeah,
it's like a death sentence. So when now he said that, he said, remember, we are not heading towards, you know, getting you cured. We just want to try and manage the cancer.
What?
And I was very, you know, the moment he was telling me all those things, in my mind I could tell myself, no, there's no way you're going to manage this. I'll have to beat this.
Oh,
I'll have to
love
fight
that.
it. Yeah, so I said, I'll have to fight as hard as I can until I conquer. Because, well, I knew my aunts, you know, like I told you earlier on, they passed, you know, due to breast cancer, some of them, others, you know, throat cancer. And I saw the pain they went through. It was something that I didn't want to go through again myself. So I decided I'm going to fight this with all my power, with all my strength. And, you know, I pushed hard and I spoke to my doctor. I told him, now what I need a medical report. Because now we've done 6 sets of chemos. This is the report. Now, just give me a medical report. I need to go and get a second opinion elsewhere. So he said, that's okay, because you know now you're the patient, you're entitled to your freedom. Yeah? So I was given my report, and I decided to go to MP Shah. I went there and saw the late Dr. Njogona. So when I saw now Dr. Njogona, you know, he went through my report. So he said, what we can do, let's try, because the disease is still there. Let's try and, you know, hit it once again with another chemo. Then I'm thinking, another set of chemos. I've gone through 6. It was the worst.
Physically, you mean?
Physically, you know, it was draining. It was.
And then you still have 2 children.
Then I have, you know, 2 small kids. They're waiting, you know, for you at home. They want you to play with them. And your body is not even, you know, you can't even stand. You're very weak. So we decided, let's do another chemo, 6 of them. So this time they had to change now the medication again. So instead of getting the IV one, so I started getting now the tablets.
Okay.
So the tablets, I could take them for 2 weeks, then get a break of 1 week, then go back again.
So it gave you permission to pace yourself.
Yes. But you see now even these tablets, they're very strong. They're very strong. So they would, you know, I started now, my hair was still now intact. It was now growing back.
Okay.
Unlike in the first set of chemo, where I lost all my hair.
Right. And this was in 2017?
From 2016 now, 2017, all the way to 2018.
Okay.
So in between, you know, the second now type of chemo, my, you know, my nails, they started changing, they became black. I started peeling my legs, they were peeling, I could not walk. I was just in pain throughout. No appetite. You're just moody most of the time.
And of course, at this time, you're not working.
No, I'm not working.
And who, the kids, who's looking after the kids?
Now it was me, the house help, and now my sister.
Okay.
So, you know, even the father. The father is still there. So, you know, he's busy at work, but he would still spare some time and, you know, spend the time with the kids.
Okay.
And it was quite a challenge. It was quite a challenge, but I thank God. You know,
you survived.
I survived all that.
You proved that doctor wrong.
Yes.
You were like, oh, really? Watch me.
Yes.
And look at you now.
Yes.
What a beautiful story. Now, I know you shared the physical hardships. How was it trying for you or difficult for you emotionally and spiritually?
It was very draining, I would say. It was. Mentally, you know, I had lost all this hope, and at some point, I didn't want to go on and do the treatment. At some point, I was like, now I am done. I am not doing any more chemos. I am not taking any more medication. This is it. Then let me just wait now I die, because it was too draining. It was too draining. You know, there was no much change that was taking place. But I remember my dad, him being a retired reverend, he told me, you need to focus. If you love yourself, you need to focus. And you need to be positive. You need to remain positive. You have to fight this. We've seen other people who fought cancer, and 20 years down the line, they're still there. So you need to be one of them. We need to have people talking about you, you know, saying that I know of someone who has fought cancer and they've survived.
Right.
So I decided, this was now my turning point. So I decided, let me push, you know, give it a try once more, which is exactly what I did. And I went back to taking my medication again.
Okay.
Yeah, went back to taking my medication again. So I was done with chemo. After chemo, now I was now scheduled now for the surgery.
Okay.
So
the mastectomy.
The mastectomy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my mastectomy was done in November of 2017. So that's when now I went and did my mastectomy with Professor Wasike. And after that, I was given about 2 months to heal.
Okay.
So after 2 months now, early 2018, February, I started my radiation. So I had to do still radiation, about 16 sessions, an everyday thing. It was very tiring.
Yeah.
So Monday to Friday, you just rest, Saturday and Sunday. Then Monday, you go back at it again for 16 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was the mastectomy a difficult decision for you to make?
It was.
Take me through that.
It
Don't
was.
mind.
It was. You see now, the breast, they define you as a woman. You know, your hair, your everything. Now you losing your hair, you losing now a part of your body. It's too much to, you know, to digest at the same time. So I was a bit hesitant with doing the mastectomy, because I remember I spoke to my doctor at Kenyatta called Dr. Misheni, and I told him, I really don't want to do a mastectomy. Can we do a lumpectomy? A lumpectomy is just now them taking a part of the affected breast. So they don't really remove the whole breast. So they spare some of the breast. So I told him, can we do a lumpectomy? Then he said, no, you have to do a mastectomy.
Why was he? No. Yeah. Why was he so adamant?
Because now he was saying, if you do a lumpectomy, the chances of the disease coming back again, they're very high.
And imagine going through all that
and
again.
Then,
it comes back and then you have to do it again.
Yeah, so he told me the best treatment for you, just do away with it. So you still have one, so you can survive with one. So remove the one, and you know, we prolong your life, and after that, you'll be on hormonal therapy for another couple of 10 years or so. So it will give you more time, you know, to live and to look after your kids. So I decided, well, he's the doctor. He's more knowledgeable than I.
Joining us, we were talking about breast cancer, and our guest today is Miriam Ndirangu, who is sharing her journey, where at 31 years old, she discovered that she had breast cancer, stage 4, and then begun her journey into treatment and chemotherapy and radiation and mastectomy. And now you have this new body, Miriam. How did you find your self-confidence once, you know, going through the hair? You were talking about your nails, you were talking about your skin that was peeling, you know, and now the mastectomy. How did you come to love your body, your new body again?
I would say first it starts with acceptance. You accept, you know, the condition that you have, you know, and first, immediately you accept that you have breast cancer, and you accept that you want to do treatment. You know, you follow your doctor's advice. I think that was the first point for me now to be able now to appreciate who I am. And, you know, I was just talking, you know, through myself that, you know, you're just going to lose a breast.
Yeah.
So it's not a big deal. You still have one.
Yeah.
And you can still find something to,
yeah,
you know, cover up for that.
Right.
So immediately I I spoke to myself that you need to do this. It's not the end of life. You can be driving somewhere and then you get an accident and you have to be amputated, maybe your limbs.
Yeah.
How do you live with that?
Right. And how do you still find self-love and confidence and honor your new body?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I decided I'll embrace the new me. Actually, I love the new me currently than the old one.
Yeah.
Because, I've become more confident. I'm living life to the fullest. I'm not taking chances. I'm making the best out of it. And I'm grateful to God for the second chance that I've been given.
Yeah, and you have a newfound strength too.
Yeah.
And now, actually, earlier you touched on the fact that children sometimes get breast cancer, which I found mind-boggling. But a quick fact for you viewers at home, did you know that also men can have breast cancer? And it usually forms as a lump on their chest.
Yes.
So to be very aware of your body and any changes that take place. Now, given this journey that you've gone through, and I guess are still going through, because I'm sure there's still treatments that you're undergoing. What are some of the main lifestyle changes that had to take place in your life to help you overcome this treatment, this diagnosis, rather?
You see, once you're diagnosed with breast cancer, there are so many myths out there. People say don't eat red meat, don't drink milk, don't do a lot of sugar, don't do this.
Okay.
But when I was talking to my doctors, all of them were just telling me, just eat a balanced diet.
Okay.
Maintain a healthy diet. Just make sure you do a lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables, drink a lot of fluids.
Yeah.
Do a lot of exercise, keep yourself, physically
fit. Yeah.
So it's actually the main thing now, in my agenda, that when I wake up in the morning, I have to think, what am I putting in my mouth today?
Yeah.
So, we have to, you need to cut on a few things. If, you're a fan of having one for the road here and there, you need to cut on that.
Okay.
Because you see now, with breast cancer, it tends to grow the cells.
Yeah.
They tend to grow more when you're consuming too much
alcohol
and all that. So you have to
smoking,
cut on that.
I guess,
and smoking.
too. Yeah.
So you need to cut on all those.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice when you have breast cancer. So you have to drop all those things.
Right.
Yes.
And focus on honoring your body.
Exactly. Exactly.
So what are some of the main lessons that you draw from the past year and a half?
I've learned a lot. First, learning to listen to your body. Listen to your body.
And not necessarily all the doctors that say it's fine, but you trust your gut.
Trust your gut.
Yeah.
Exactly. Trust your guts. Look at the changes that are taking place in your body. When you're losing weight so drastically, don't just think, oh, I'm now losing weight, I'll be a size 8, I'll be a size what. Just try and think, what could be the issue? Yes, I'm losing weight, I'm not doing exercise, I've not changed my diet, so why am I losing weight so drastically?
Yeah.
So you've got to, for women out there, you need to do a lot of physical examination. Cancer is real.
Yeah.
Yeah, cancer, is becoming an epidemic in the country.
Right, and it's not just for those, later in life, in their 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
You could be in your 20s thinking that you're living your best life, but you don't know.
Yeah.
So it could affect anyone.
True. So you need to, keep fit, get as much as information you can get out there. Go for screening, regular screening now and then.
Yeah, self-checks.
Self-checks.
Yeah.
If you notice something a bit off, just go and, get a second opinion maybe from that doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
Okay. And how did this experience impact your family?
I think we've become now more close as a family, because you see now, when I was diagnosed with cancer, my dad, he was not for the idea that you're going to die. He was, you're not going to die.
I love your dad. He's like, so here's what's happening. You're not dying.
You're not
One.
dying.
Two,
so
keep your chin up.
Yes.
Focus. I love your dad.
You've got to take your treatment as you're told. Follow your doctor's advice. He's very, strict and all that. So he said he kept pushing me, and he even made us to form like a prayer time for myself. Like every day actually for the last, I think like now over 1 year, we've been praying at exactly 10 p.m. as a family. So at 10 p.m. wherever you are, just spare that 1 minute or 2 minutes, pray for Miriam, because she needs to get through this. So it has really brought us together as a family, which I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for the doctors out there. I'm very grateful. We have a support group called Limau Cancer Foundation.
Okay.
It's such a nice group because through that group we've been able to learn more about cancer, other types of cancers, learning about our nutrition, how keeping fit. You know, when you're depressed, we have medics, you know, who come and talk to us. So having a support system is very important. And I would also urge, you know, the caregivers out there, if you have like a relative going through any type of cancer, you know, you as a caregiver, please provide or give them the moral support that they need. Because we need support, we need to be loved.
Yeah.
We don't need to be rejected. We don't want to be, you know, made to feel like we are now going to die.
Yeah.
No, you can die before me and...
Yeah, exactly,
you know,
right.
Yeah, so all I would emphasize is, you know, let's give them the support that they require.
Yeah.
You know, remain focused. Don't lose hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep your
chin up and faith up.
Yes.
I know you have twin girls. You said one's called Haley.
Haley. The other one is called Kaylee.
And oh,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Haley and Kaylee.
Yes.
I'm assuming that this probably hit home for you, the thought that it seems like cancer is in your family and it's part of the genetics, and now you have these two gorgeous girls.
Yeah.
Is there something that you would love for them to learn from this experience or to pass on to them from what you've had to go through?
Yeah, definitely. You know, first, a part of me is scared that, you know, they might end up having it later in life, or, you know, it's the worst fear of a parent. And I wouldn't really want to see them go through what I've gone through. And, you know, I keep urging them to eat healthy. I avoid as much as I can for them to have, you know, this junk and all that.
Processed foods.
Yes, so I just ensure their diet is well balanced. You know, they live a healthy life, basically. Yes.
Yeah.
And maybe, you know, when they become of age, you know, I think I'm going to teach them how to do the physical examination, to be going for screening and such things.
Great.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any particular lessons that you draw from this? Because I believe that with every dark cloud, there's a silver lining. There's something that you can draw from this, and this was what this experience was meant to teach me.
Yeah.
What are some of the teachable moments that you draw from this journey?
We all have second chances in life, and we all deserve to have one. You know, it's everyone's prayer that you get a second chance in life. And cancer is not a death sentence. People should know that.
You proved them wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, here I am.
Yeah.
Would you even tell that?
No, you couldn't. In fact, when you walked in, I was like, but
are you sure?
I was told we're meant to meet Miriam, and you look happy, healthy,
Yes.
confident. You're glowing, really.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So cancer is not a death sentence.
Yeah.
You need to understand that. And the best thing you can do, just remain positive. Remain positive in life. You know, there are so many feuds in family taking place. There are struggles here and there. It doesn't have to be cancer. It can also be something else.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's the end of life.
Right.
It's not the end of life. Just keep pushing further and further as much as you can. And at the end of the day, you'll be happy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Miriam, thank you so much for
Thank
sharing
you.
your story, for honoring and loving your body.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there's people who are watching this who are in similar situations, and they've drawn lessons from your story. Whether it's your dad insisting 10 p.m. we're all praying, or you fighting on despite the doctor saying, no, you're fine, and saying, actually, no, I feel that there's something wrong and I need to get an answer. So thank you for sharing your story.
Thank
We
you
wish
very
you all the
much.
best.
Yeah,
Keep
yeah.
glowing and keep shining.
Yeah.
Remember that we'd love to hear from you guys on social media. That's Living with Us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If there's any special guests that you'd love to have on the show or you'd love to see on the show, then let us know. We're here to have questions and interactions and conversations that we can all learn from, like Miriam's story today. Tomorrow, we are talking about startups and how to go from your side hustle to it being your main hustle. And we've got an expert on the show who's going to share all the tips that we need to know about that whole journey into business. Thanks for joining us for the past 1 hour. We will see you tomorrow bright and early, 8 a.m. sharp.